This is everything you need to know about the latest teaser trailer for the Trailmakers 1.9.5 update. First, we have three new logic blocks: the functions block, the random block, and the aggregate block. The first one, functions, adds trigonometry functions to Trailmakers, like the sine, cosine, tangent, things like that. I didn't study enough math to know what they mean, so I can't explain them to you. Next is the random logic block. This is just a random number generator. If it receives an input, it scrambles and randomizes it within a range and outputs to things that it's connected to. The aggregate block collects inputs dependent on whatever is connected to it, and then depending on what you select in its configuration menu, it will do different things. It can either sum all the inputs together, add them all together, it can multiply them all together, it can find the highest input or the lowest input, and depending on which one you pick, it will send that information onto logic gates that it's connected to. Next, we have logic connection visualization. So in the new update, you're going to have these fancy little blue lines which will show you a little sort of kind of like spiderweb thing where you can see different inputs that your logic block has, and you also have some output options for all different kinds of sensors. You have the trigger mode, which is just a Boolean value, which is just yes or no. Is it triggering or is it not triggering? Is it providing an output or is it not providing an output? You have measurement, which is just an absolute value. So say, for example, you have a speed sensor and it's on measurement. It will just output whatever numbers in the block. So say, for example, you're going 30 kilometers an hour, it'll output 30. That's the way I understood it. Normalized is it's kind of a percentage. So basically, you have, say for example, a distance sensor has a range of 50 meters. Then you can, if you set it to normalized, you can provide different outputs. You can provide an analog output to something based on how close the thing that it's detecting is. You also have some new operations for your arithmetic gate. The first one is modulo. Modulo is a fancy little function. Basically, when you divide two numbers together, so say for example, you do 9 divided by 4. The output for the modulo function would be 1, because 4 goes into 9 twice and there's 1 left over still. So that's how that would work. The other two functions that you can use is, they're both powers, but there's two options. You can either do x to the power of constant or constant to the power of x. The constant is the number that you set in the logic block's configuration menu, and x is any inputs that it might receive from keybinds or other logic blocks. And last but not least, the final thing that you saw in the teaser trailer was a cruise control. It is imperative that you know that this is not an extra cool function for the engines. This is a completely custom coded logic system. It is a use case that you can use for these new logic blocks. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about this update. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Eatify, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!